It's a new year with new challenges and new opportunities. Few companies have what we have to offer. We are a force for growth and a force for good. And we always move forward together. When the world around us comes to a stop, we move forward together. When it comes to being there for our customers in new ways, we move forward together. When it comes to the latest and greatest phones, internet, accessories, and experiences, we move forward together. When our communities seek a brighter, more equitable, and more inclusive future, we move forward together. When building 5G right becomes the only way developers can actually deliver the next revolution, we move forward together.
Put 'em up to the sky, wave your hands side to side. Yeah, I'm coming alive, I know you're feeling it.
We dream big, we aim high. We're driving a future of unimaginable possibilities. We're showing up, we're executing, we're delivering. We are the V Team. And we always move forward together.
You know what to do. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Put 'em up to the sky.
And with that, we say hello, Happy New Year 2021. It feels good to say that. And V-Team, here we are. 2020, think about the kickoff from last year and how far we've come and sort of what we've accomplished. It is truly amazing. It's so great to start the new year with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us for a very special up-to-speed kickoff with our leaders as we think about what 2021 will look like and how we will continue to go from great to fantastic and continue to grow. Of course, we've learned a lot from 2020, but it's time now to grow. So with that in mind, let's welcome all of you and make sure that if you do have questions, go ahead and send those questions to live@verizon.com. That is the inbox that will be taking your questions. And of course, we've got a couple people on standby here. Let's show our crowd of V-teamers that are waving and saying hello, saying Happy New Year, and really making sure that your questions are answered. So we've got our leaders on standby. We've got our V-teamers as well waving back and saying hello. And we'll be hearing from those V-teamers very soon here in the Q&A. And by the way, you know that we've had some promotions here to make sure that if you are watching, you have an opportunity to have a little coffee break with Hans. And you can talk a latte with Hans. Sorry for the pun, but coffee clinks to all of you. So so make sure that you're watching, because at the end of this webcast, we will tell you how you can land a little coffee time with Hans. So coffee clinks, hold on to your mugs for that. With that, what a wonderful sense of energy, of renewal, of a clean slate, of an opportunity for all of us to really think about what 2021 is going to look like for our company. With that, let's send it over to Hans. Hans, Happy New Year to you. So good to be with you today.
Hi, Andy, and Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all the V-teamers. It's great to be back. And of course, for the kickoff. Early in the year, we want to get out there and talk about our priorities. But first of all, you need to just spend a little of time about 2020. I mean, 2020, it's really hard to reflect over it. It's a year that is unprecedented. It was our 20 years anniversary. We didn't see that much of it. There was other things that was far more important, like the pandemic, the racial injustice, the economical downturn we saw in certain parts of our world. And it's not over yet. Just to remember that. Even though we start a new year, those things has not gone away. And I want to caution you again, the pandemic is continuing to grow and impact people in a horrible way. But that, of course, was very much how our year looked in 2020 with all that, and many of us working from home or worked in the new procedures in the field or in the store. But if I then look at the business we were conducting, I'm really happy we launched Verizon 2.0 as a fundamental way of working, structure, and how we act as and behave. Because that helped us quite a lot to achieve everything else we did, despite all those challenges. I mean, think about our business groups, you know, Verizon Consumer Group, they launched several new services, everything from Mix and Match 3.0 to Disney Plus. And early this morning, Discovery Plus, they had an announcement on the iPhone, the 5G. A lot of things was happening in the Verizon Consumer Group in this year in execution. And the business group, Verizon Business Group, they were attending customers in a wide array of challenges. Some enterprise customers needed much more equipment, others needed less. The small and medium businesses were challenged. And of course, they were continuing doing partnerships, all the way from the 5G mobile edge compute with Amazon to Microsoft, SAP, IBM. Yeah, they just continue to develop their go-to-market with new partners to set them up for the future. And Verizon Media Group, they reinvented themselves with a lot of new apps for NFL, for NBA, together with Walmart, etc., and new services that so many people were longing for in these times. At the same time, our network team, they kept the best network, and that's important. And they also launched more 5G services and installed more gear than were ever done before in a year of 2020. And as a company, we continue to think about our social responsibility, our responsible business. And I'm proud to wear this T-shirt, the Citizen Verizon that we launched last year, which is really supporting the way we want to support society, with the volunteerism that many of you helped with as well. And not only that, we made the green bond. We continue to support a lot of organizations that were fighting the racial injustice. And we will continue to do so, because it's not over. It will continue. And finally, up to the third quarter, important to say, our financials were performing well. All that happened in 1 year. It's just amazing what we have done as a team, as an organization, when we think about that. And it was sort of spearheaded and guided with our purpose that we came out with for a little bit more than 1 year. So the purpose we have is, of course, we create the networks that move the world forward. That is so important that we are part of that nerve system to see that our connectivity, our networks that we're building is actually moving this world forward. We decided also in Verizon 2.0 to see that we manage the 4 stakeholders, the shareholders, the customers, the employees, and the society. And we took a very important decision already in the beginning of March when this pandemic broke out. We decided that we're going to take long-term decisions that have a positive impact for our 4 stakeholders. And we prioritized the V-teamers, the employees, as the most important, the safety and health for all the V-teamers. The purpose and the stakeholders, that is carrying us into the 2021 as well, as a foundation, how we want to operate in 2021. That will never go away. That is so important. So let's look a little bit on our priorities for 2021. And there are not so many surprises because we are in execution mode. We have put in the assets and the structure for us to continue to execute with one really important focus, and that's growth. And the growth will come from that we strengthen and grow our core businesses. And that means continue with LTE. All other core businesses has to continue to flourish in Verizon Business Group and Verizon Media Group. And continue to see that the brand is sticking out in all that. We also need to leverage the new assets that we're building, the 5G. We have 5G home, we have 5G mobility, we have 5G mobile edge compute. These models are now to fruition in 2021 and so important. And we need to find new models based on all these opportunities, like going into areas where we did with Yahoo Mobile, Visible, finding new areas of remote learning that we're doing. All that together should build our growth opportunity going forward. At the same time, we continue with a high priority of dry operational and financial discipline. One of the most important things that we want to preserve in Verizon 2.0. Continue with that because that gives us the freedom and flexibility to continue to execute on our strategy that we have. And finally, as a foundation for all this, to cultivate a purpose-driven culture. Everything from responsible business, seeing that we have the pulse survey all the time to listen to the V-teamers, what we can do better in order to make this place to be the best place to work. Those are the 4 priorities with some 5 different focus areas. All of them you recognize, but they're so important that this is the year where we now can start executing on these because they are in place, including the structure and the assets for us to actually start growing. 5 different priorities with the 4 focus areas. By that, I'm going to hand over to the business leaders to talk a little bit about their supporting priorities that are going to support the overall. And I'm going to start by asking our CEO of Verizon Business Group, Tami, to talk about their priorities. So Tami, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. And wow, it's hard to believe all that happened in 365 days. What an incredible year. And let me just say a huge thank you to our V-teamers around the globe who delivered exceptional performance in 2020. You know, as I think about the priorities for Verizon Business, it really is anchored to the way that we showed up on behalf of our customers in 2020 that earns us the opportunity to be a preferred partner in 2021 as we think about our priorities. You know, we start with strengthen and grow our core business, and I'm going to tie that to 5G because those things really go hand in hand. In 2020, we reacted, we responded, and we reimagined with our customers what was required for their success. And we're continuing to do that as we move through the volatility of COVID. And yet what we've demonstrated to our customers is we are the preferred partner, not only for their requirements today, but as we think about defining and leading the world to 5G. I think about the work Kyle's team did to really move from PowerPoint to proof of concept to now commercial viability and scalability of 5G solutions in 2021, and that will certainly be a priority for us. As we think about number 3 and number 4 here, how do we deliver exceptional customer experiences and how do we deliver against our BT priorities? Those two go hand in hand. How do we create better experiences for employees and better experiences for customers so we can collectively serve all 4 of our stakeholders? Hans, you talked about the power and the importance of culture. Nothing more important as we continue to listen, to learn, and lead with action on how we show up on equality, how we show up on being a team and leaning in, being forward together as a collective V team. So incredibly proud of the year that we delivered in 2020. It's about leaning in and getting a fast start to 2021 against the 5 priorities we have and serving all 4 of our stakeholders, again, as we did in 2020. We're excited about 2021. We're committed to delivering great results as we lean into 2021. Ronan, I'll toss it to you.
Thank you, Tami, and Happy New Year to everybody. And really our focus in the consumer group is more of the same. We have a passion about delivering for our employees and our customers. And really what we want to do is leverage the capabilities we have inside the business to deliver better outcomes for customers and employees. To do that, we want to make sure that the distribution and availability of mobility and home services is as broad, as rich and deep and wide as the networks on which they're delivered. And that really is to champion the network organization by delivering amazing experiences, because that's what customers truly, truly value. To do that, we know that we have to bring to life basic capabilities of both 4G and 5G, but we need to package them in a way that makes them easily accessible to customers by showing up how and where they would expect. And that is why we are committed to continuing our drive to NPS 50. Having made great progress in the last 7 quarters, we're going to make even more progress in 2021. To do that, we know we have to change how work gets done. It's not just what work gets done and where it gets done, but how it gets done. And that is something that we believe we can really leverage this and scale the transformational capabilities of AI to really empower everyone in the organization to deliver better outcomes for customers. And that will create a platform in which we believe that our employees will win because they'll have more of the tools to do the job, to show up how and where our customers expect, and affords us the opportunity to really use that as a platform for growth. The winning formula for our customers, we know, is values defined by quality, experience, and choice. And the winning formula for our employees, we know, is giving you more of access to more of the things that will allow you to be the success you deserve to be. That's what our winning formula is going to be in 2021. Sounds familiar? Because guess what? 2020 laid the foundations. 2021 is how we'll deliver. So let me hand it over to Guru.
Great. Thanks, Ronan, and Happy New Year, everybody. And I know, I'll echo everyone here, we're all ready to take on 2021 and really focus on growth of the foundation that we built in 2020. So for Verizon Media in 2021, our top 5 priorities span across consumer, the ads and the publisher business, and of course shareholders, as well as employees and society. I'll start by briefly touching on the first 2 consumer-focused priorities. First one, starting with user engagement, is a focus on top of the funnel, which is to really bring in more users and deliver experiences that ultimately drive them to increase quality time within our ecosystem, to log in, to ultimately transact, and also improve a lot of our search volume and engagement, which leads into priority number 2, which is our paid experiences. We will evolve and enhance our consumer journey here through compelling paid experiences across commerce, subscriptions, and gaming and betting. When you think about commerce, this year we are building out a bolder, more ambitious commerce strategy with audience-inspired shops, native marketplaces, and B2B2C that will connect brands to customers directly. We're also seeing a big acceleration in convergence between ads and commerce, which means including a lot of growth in dynamic product ads, which is an ad unit part of ad strategy. And this all ties very closely to subscription, the second part of that. We're building out a new holistic Yahoo subscription framework designed to drive highly personalized and premium offerings across finance, mail, and device protection. And then last but not the least in this is gaming and betting. We're implementing new product enhancements within sports and the sportsbook in partnership with MGM and looking to scale way more aggressively. And then the next priority you see, number 3, is around ads business. We will continue to focus on scaling our demand side, even with even better performance and differentiated data and identity that we have across our ecosystem. And of course, leaning on our publisher solutions with O&O being a strong source of supply and also other high quality partners. And that leads to the next priority around growth and profitability. This is always a deep focus for us to deliver for our shareholders. I know Matt is very happy when he sees this on the list. We'll do this by driving strong top line growth and profitability improvements and also continue the momentum from 2020, including stabilizing and growing search. And then, of course, last but not least, our priority on people and society. We are committed to fostering a safe, diverse, and engaging environment for our employees through efforts like our mental health program and making social responsibility an integral part of our culture. So very excited for what we're taking on and what we're executing already in 2021. With that, I'll pass it to Kyle.
Thank you, Guru. And Happy New Year to everybody. It's great to be here this morning, the first day of work for a new year. And happy to start building upon the foundation that we laid in GNT last year. And you can see our priorities as they come up here. I want to start with number 1, and that's really, maintain our network leadership. Even though the calendar changes, that is first and foremost what we are all about in GNT. to make sure that we give our customers the best experiences, whether it be 4G LTE, 5G ultra wideband, Fios, or our enterprise networks. So always top front of mind for us is maintaining network leadership. We have a lot of the competitors coming after us. They're spending a lot of money, a lot of time trying to dethrone us. So this is a year that we're really going to see that pick up, and we have to be ready to maintain that leadership. Obviously, the next piece is aggressively expand our 5G and MEC deployments. We had a really, really good year in 2020 deploying our ultra wideband and our nationwide 5G, especially the last few weeks of the year. The teams really stepped up, and in December we put on the most 5G ultra wideband sites historically. So that was a great month, even with the holidays. So hats off to everybody doing that. And then obviously we got our 10th MEC installation done as well. Now we're gonna double on that in 2021. So front of mind and partnering with the business groups so developers can utilize what we've put out there and start coming up with new applications to use this technology. The next one is, and Ronan alluded to this, it's GTS and AI&D and becoming a competitive differentiator. The teams have done a really good job retooling the way they work. They're delivering quicker and more efficiently than ever. And really, they're a great source of innovation. And in the coming year, as AI&D has come up to speed now, and the rest of GTS, we really look for a great 2021 and that team helping the business units. As always, we need to drive cost efficiencies throughout what we do every day. The more we can save, the more efficient we can be, the more network we can deploy, and then that really helps with priority number one up there. And then finally, talking about the culture, we heard a little bit about this. It's customers first, it's about teamwork, and it's about personal growth. And I'm really happy with how the teams responded in 2020 with all the different curveballs that we had. We were still able to maintain and do our strategic initiatives, if you will, while keeping the business running through hurricanes and fires and pandemics. So we had a great 2020. Hopefully things will lighten up and become more BAU, if you will, in 2021, and we'll be able to provide even more focus on these items. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Andy, and I think we'll get into some Q&A.
That's right, Kyle. Thank you very much, and thank you, of course, to our leaders, and Happy New Year to all of you, and thank you for laying out the plan here for 2021. So Q&A now. As I mentioned, we do have a couple of people on video who wanted to ask their questions directly through video, but of course, if you do have questions, send them over to live@verizon.com. We are taking a look at those questions as well. So we'll start with Mr. Matt Ellis. This question is for you, and this is through a video here, and it's about our financial goals for 2021. So let's go ahead and take a look at that question.
Happy New Year, V-Team. This is Dante Birch from the FP&A COE down in Lake Murray, Florida. My question today is for fellow Spurs fan, Mr. Matt Ellis. So, with COVID-19 continuing on into 2021, how do you believe it'll impact our overall financial performance and our ability to meet expense reduction goals?
Oh, Matt, looks like you're on mute there.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Happy New Year, Dante. Thank you for the question. Happy New Year to everyone else. And that's a great looking shirt you're wearing. I appreciate that. So, look, really, you had two questions in there. I think you spoke about financial performance and also the cost savings piece. So let's break those apart. On the financial performance side, certainly COVID had an initial impact on us. But then I think you saw the impact of a couple of things about large parts of our business. A lot of our business is a subscription model business as opposed to transaction based. And then secondly, we've got products and services that customers want, especially at a time like this. And you saw that show up in the third quarter when we got back to earnings, even with the COVID headwinds being flat year over year in the third quarter. And then we spoke positively about our view for the fourth quarter. I would expect that to carry over into 2021. I'm expecting a strong year of financial performance. You heard all the other leaders speak about that. It's important we do that. And with the business model we have, we're in a great place where we have the ability to expect to do that. Certainly, the thing we'll pay most attention to is the ability of our customers, whether that be consumers or businesses, to continue to have, you think about the macroeconomic environment. Hans touched on that up front. the ability there. So we'll pay close attention to that. But I'm expecting another year of strong financial performance, even as we continue to deal with the pandemic. The second part of your question about the ability to continue to focus on our expense reduction goals, even while we're dealing with the pandemic here. And I would say, if anything, the pandemic, I think, has opened up our lens in terms of the art of the possible on the cost reduction side. Some of the things that it might have taken us a long time to think about doing or being willing to do, you think how quickly reacted last year to different things in a number of different areas. And I think it's really important as we work our way through this year, hopefully we get to a much better place from a pandemic standpoint, that we don't lose that, the ability to move fast, to move swiftly, and to be able to think at a wider level about what might be possible. Because, and you heard Carl just mention it, every dollar that we save in our core running of the business, that's a dollar we can put into building more network, or investing in the customer experience improvements you heard Tami and Ronan talk about, or bringing new products and services to market that get to the growth that you heard Hans talk about. So continuing to find those places where we can save money in how we do business today is incredibly important as we go forward. If anything, COVID just broadened our lens of what's possible as we think about that. So I'm very excited about cost reduction in 2021. I'm very excited about our financial performance opportunities for the year. So with that, Andy, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, of course, to our finance team, as you mentioned, for making sure, despite 2020, we continue to succeed and continue to grow. Our next question here is for Christy, and obviously we're getting a lot of questions about what it means to work from home and what the future of that holds in 2021. So, Christy, let's take a look at this next question.
Hi, Christy. You mentioned we are continuing to operate in our current adjusted state through March. What is our outlook for the future of Verizon and how we will work moving forward?
Thanks for that question. I think that's a question on a lot of employees' minds, so excited to have the opportunity to offer a few comments today. I think two things I would say. First, the coronavirus is still obviously very active and spreading throughout many regions of the world. And so we thought it was really important as a VLC to make sure employees knew we wanted to stay using all of our current protocols and practices right now so that we could have maximum safety for all of our employees. But we also know, and I think Matt just referenced this, we learned so many exciting things, and we've developed so many new ways of working throughout this period of time that we're looking to make sure that we could capture those and think about what role they'll play in our future working environment here at Verizon. So as we near the end of the first quarter, we're expecting that there'll be a lot more publicly available information about the vaccines, about vaccine distribution worldwide, and we'll have a lot more insight into how we'll be able to safely continue to reopen as societies around the world. And that will then play into how we could think about our future of work. And so I'd say stay tuned, a lot of exciting work going on, and our current focus is on employee safety and health.
Christy, thank you. And no surprise, our live inbox, we're getting questions, of course, about COVID and what we're doing to sort of, navigate through 2021. So rather than take the entire time, which we can, and then some today, Christy, if you're available, Monday, up to speed, we'd love to have you and answer those questions as your team continues to tackle what's ahead. Are you down for a little Monday appointment with us?
That sounds like a plan, Andy. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Christy, thank you. And of course, thank you to our HR team. And Christy, once again, will be joining us next Monday on Up to Speed right here at noon Eastern. So thank you for that. This next question here, we're going to send it back to our CEO, Hans Vestberg here. And our biggest achievement in 2021 is the next question topic here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that question.
2020 was a rough year, but Verizon still moved forward. With the obstacles of 2020 behind us or worked out, what do you feel is going to be Verizon's biggest achievement in 2021?
Hey, Dave, great question. I mean, let me just try to get a little bit round up on what you heard from the business leaders. I mean, we have a pretty locked down plan for next year with a lot of focus on growth based on the assets we had and that we're developing with new opportunities. That will continue. That also means that a lot of things that we will see in this year, in 2021, is continuous change. We'll continue to change to serve our customers in a better way so we actually can serve all our stakeholders in an even better way. So that will happen in 2021. But if you ask me for one thing, that's hard. But if you ask me for two things, I will try. The two things would be, number one would be the safety and health of all the V-teamers. I mean, that's the sort of the number one target and goal. The second is growth. We want to get back to growth. We have geared up this company now since Verizon 2.0 with all the investments in network, in the structure, in the people, in the training. Everything we have done the last couple of years is really to get there for the growth. And I think we're there. You heard about Tami, Guru, and Ronan have all the plans. Kyle has the plans to support them, and I can tell you, all the corporate leaders in the staff function also have the plans supporting it. So it's very important that we have that together. But those would be the achievement I was looking forward when we close the year of 2021 that is now far away as we just are kicking off this year. Back to you, Andy.
All right, Hans, thank you very much. And speaking of our business leaders, let's go back to them for a couple questions here. We'll start with Tami, and of course, 5G, a big part of our growth and our narrative for 2021. And this has to do with edge computing, an exciting space for us as we head into the new year here. So, Tami, this question's for you. Let's hear a little bit more about that.
Hi, Oliver Cantor here from Enterprise Solutions. What I was wondering is, hearing a lot about network as a service from some of our recent deals, and of course 5G Edge will play a role here as well. What do you expect from businesses of all sizes in this space this year? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that for that question. And as we think about 2021 and we think about network as a service and we think about 5G capabilities, those really go hand in hand as we think about how do we meet the requirements that customers have. You know, at the very end of the year, we announced a big win, the biggest network as a service contract that we've had with Walgreens. So a huge shout out to Massimo and Sampath and the team that worked that deal. I think it reinforces our ability to provide network services around the globe to our customers that now more than ever understand the power of connectivity. As we then build above connectivity, we have the ability to offer edge compute, whether it's public, whether it's private, the work we're doing. And through our partnerships, we've never been better positioned than we are today to provide network as a service, to build on top of network, to really deliver the kinds of solutions and capabilities that we're hearing from customers around the world are so essential for them as they redefine their business in a post-COVID environment. So as we think about being their partner of choice through real-time transformation, as they accelerate digital transformation, network as a service, 5G and our global leadership will play critical roles in how we meet the needs of those customers. And the reason that we're being identified as the partner of choice for our customers as we think about their digital transformation journey. So really excited about where we find ourselves as we enter 2021, and a huge shout out and a thank you to Kyle and his team for the network that they build and deliver every single day for our customers that allow us to sell those kinds of solutions. Andy, back to you.
Tami, thanks. Let's check in with Hans now. I know this is a huge narrative, and I want to make sure that Hans has some time to talk about what this means, what this 5G edge space means for us, and really making sure that businesses all over the world know that this is what matters to us and everyone out there in the business world.
Andy, thank you. And Tami, excellent. I think that we talked about this last year when we talked about the 5 vectors of growth based on the network as a service. This is so fundamental for our growth. I just want to chime in and support Tami and exactly how she's describing it. But remember also one thing. When we talk about network as a service, that started as something that was called Verizon Intelligent Edge Network, a build of the network that nobody else is building in the market, and that is so unique for us. And that started already 27 2017, for the ones that have good memory, which I have, we remember that was the fundamental start of the network as a service. And we just want to put it into a perspective of the long term, how long we have been working on this, and how critical and how differentiated that is compared to what everybody else is building in the market. And that makes our strategy so fundamentally strong going into 2021.
Excellent, Hans. Thank you very much. And Tami, thank you. And of course, thank you to our business teams for making this matter. And of course, as Hans mentioned, this is one of those ideas that we've been working on for a long time. But now here we are. The world is now coming to us. And speaking of ways that the world is coming to us, so let's talk about our partnerships. This question is for Ronan. And we've had an amazing year of partnerships so far in the last couple years. And this question is focused on what partnerships look like for this year. So Ronan, this question is for you.
Why are partnerships like Disney and Discovery Plus so important to our brand? And will we see more in 2021?
So great question. I think I break it into two critical parts. The first is for partnerships to be important, not only do they have to deliver some value for the customer, but they have to deliver value for the partners themselves. And what you've heard, whether it be edge compute, whether it be other things you're hearing, is that Verizon is now showing up and it's defining the ecosystem in which not just we operate, but major brands all around the world operate. And that's what's so important about partnerships like Disney and Discovery, and many more to come. So whether it be content, as we've done, and delighted that we launched this, Discovery Plus this morning, but also in the area of gaming, where we have partnerships, League of Legends, Niantic, others, Twitch. Many of those are simply enabled by us having superior network capabilities, both in 4G today, but also our 5G and our edge computing. So what we're doing is we're delivering a set of capabilities that's really leveraging Verizon's assets. And then we're identifying partnership opportunities that bring the capabilities we're building to life in a way that really adds value to our customers. And you've heard me define value as being quality, experience, and choice. So what I would say to you is more to come, but it will be a small number of exquisitely selected partnerships that really bring out the absolute best of Verizon, partnered with the best of some of the world's biggest brands. So excited for what we've done and equally excited for what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronan, and ultimately a huge win, of course, for our consumers. Thank you to the consumer team for all the hard work in 2020, all the great partnerships, and we're looking forward to more to come in 2021. Our next question here is for Guru. Let's talk a little bit about Verizon Media and the platforms that our consumers are using in 2021 and what that means when it comes to activation. So, Guru, this question's for you.
Hi, Lorna Morgan here in the Dublin office in Ireland. We saw some really cool activations in 2020 where people could tailor how they interacted with brands. What is Verizon Media Group doing in 2021 to offer consumers a custom experience?
Lorna, thank you for that question. And as you know, I love a good product question. So, we have a number of important initiatives coming to life this year with a core purpose to offer our users custom personalized experience. So let me speak to a few. First one, which I'm super excited about, is what we call as Next Gen Yahoo, which is the evolution in our media products from being merely a stream of content and ads to being a personalized and customizable utility-driven experience that connects all the consumers or users to the best we have to offer across the network. And the goal of Next Gen Yahoo is to engage and retain our most valuable mail users with content and utility. And also second is around optimizing the user journey around a true front door to a connected ecosystem, and also providing a platform to launch new products and new categories as we keep expanding that into other passion areas for our consumers. And of course, delivering on the promise of a hyper personalized Yahoo, including enabling contextual upsells into commerce and subscriptions that I mentioned earlier in terms of priorities. Net of it, we are really focused on what Next Gen Yahoo and other experiences will do. It's really focusing on driving funnel conversion to drive transactional growth areas across commerce, subs, and betting. so that users are not just coming to our properties for media and content, but also to shop and subscribe and bet all in one ecosystem. And lastly, I would mention the key to developing custom personalized experiences to fully understand the underlying user wants and needs. And our recent partnership with Adobe that we did will help us to just do that, which in turn will allow us to drive funnel conversion within our flout segments. Something I've talked about before. Flout is what we call as fanatics, loyalists, actives, occasionals, tourists. And the idea is to really move consumers across these 5 cohorts based on their level of engagement. So really excited to see that. A lot of work going around next in Yahoo, and I'm hoping everybody here gets to try that soon. Thanks,
a great product question with a great product answer, Guru. Thank you very much. And it's great to see that as the knowledge base of our consumers grow, we continue to grow with them. So thank you very much to you and the Verizon Media team. Speaking of growth, let's keep talking 5G and let's talk about our network. And this question is for you, Kyle. Of course, 5G, something we should all be thinking about. So let's take a look at this next question.
How is Verizon's 5G better than the competition? And what are the upcoming plans for 5G in 2021?
Thank you so much for the question. Well, the obvious answer is our ultra wideband, 5G ultra wideband is, the fastest in the world. It's the cutting edge 5G. It's the 5G that we've all thought about and worked so hard to put out there. And it is a game changer in terms of the technology. But as I think some others have said, just the 5G in itself isn't the whole story. You have to look at our whole IEN network, all of the things we're doing virtualizing our network, and then come back to what people really care about. They care about having coverage. They care about reliability. And if you go back to last year and all the different hurricanes and all the different things that occurred, Verizon is always there, and we make sure when people need the service, it is up and running for them. And that happened countless times during 2020. So it's really about maintaining our network leadership. It's about scaling the 5G. We're going to build more and more and more. It's going to get out there more and more and more. I'm really excited to see when COVID starts loosening up and people start getting back to concerts and sporting events, people are really going to be able to enjoy and see for themselves really the difference what a 5G ultra wideband service can bring them in terms of new applications and things that they can do with their device. So 5G for this year, it's about expanding it at a breakneck pace, optimizing it as best we can, and working with our partners to make sure new and good applications can run on our networks that our customers can enjoy. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Kyle. And it's wonderful to see the growth. And you mentioned in your priorities culture, number 5. And you have done so much to make sure that culture is a priority. And we've seen that in the spots that we've seen regarding our 5G network engineers. And what a great campaign that was. And speaking of, let's go to our brand leader, Diego. So, Diego, we've got a live question here coming in from the inbox. And this is about driving brand leadership. So how do we drive that brand leadership going in and conquering 2021?
Hey, Andy, thank you for the question. And a big thanks, let me start with that, to all the marketers in the company for a great year in 2020. We ended a year with the leadership position in the marketplace. We ended the year with our brand being as strong as it's ever been. And that is a result of all the work that this team put in place. But most importantly, with the fact that we defined the category in 2020. That means not only staying top of mind and leading the conversation, but it means staying ahead of competitors. And I tell you, even with all the headwinds that we had last year, we ended up top because we believed in our strategy and we continued executing it with clarity. Being about trust and innovation means that everything that we do in the business and in marketing needs to be about driving trust and innovation. And I think that was the secret of the success. I think as I look into 2020 and how do we continue that brand leadership, a couple of things. The role of marketing is to drive growth. So we have to start with differentiating the value propositions of our business groups, the consumer business, the business group, and also the media group. We need to keep aggressively communicating what is different about what we offer, what is different about our experience. And second, there's a lot of talk about 5G. And this year, I'm more convinced than ever that is the year where we need to continue strong pressure in the marketplace. We need to maintain our leadership on 5G, especially because this is the year in which the transition of the technology, generation of technology is going to happen. So our competitors are right there to take advantage of that. We're not going to let them, we're not going to leave them any opening for them to do that. And because also we have the best product. I mean, Kyle, Ronan, Tami, Hans, they all talked about it. We have to continue to tell the story about what is different about our 5G. The coverage and reliability that you expect from Verizon, and then the unprecedented performance of 5G ultra wideband. That's how we win. In terms of responsibility and our responsible business, maintaining our leadership and really driving our leadership through everything that we're doing is also critical. So you're going to see us pushing both on 5G leadership, responsible business leadership, and like I think it was said before, you're not going to see a lot of changes in our strategy because our strategy is solid. Our strategy is working. What you're going to see difference is that we're going to go bolder, we're going to go bigger, and we're going to also go more consistent with a lot of discipline. Imagine what amazing gift we have, that we have a strategy that is clear and that is working for now to go with more creativity and more innovation. So for all the marketers out there, this is a great year and a very exciting year for us to do what we do. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Diego. Congratulations to our marketers, really making sure that when people think about the brand, they know that they're thinking of the best. Now, Diego, it's great that you mentioned the competition because let's talk a little bit about strategy with Rima here. So this question is for you, Rima. We have a video here talking about what our competition is doing and how we're going to strategize around that. So let's take a look at that question.
Hi, my name's Kerry Boykin. I'm a senior client executive in Houston, Texas. And my question is, does the increased competitive aggression in wireless by cable companies require any changes to our strategy?
Thank you for the question. I would start by saying, first of all, we look at all competitors. And of course, what we are seeing from various competitors, whether it be the cable companies or our traditional wireless players or even new competitors that might be coming in, is that there is increased activity. But I think we need to keep in mind what we heard from Diego, which is we have a clear strategy. We have a clear position and a winning position. And it is based on the fact that we provide the best network. And as far as the consumer experience is concerned, we provide choice. And we provide exquisite customer service and customer experience. And those are the things that help us differentiate ourselves against our competitors. And again, our objective, of course, is to obviously keep track of what all of our competitors are doing, but continue to focus on staying ahead of the competition by executing on what we have as our strategy. We will determine what is the right approach for us based on our strategy and ensuring that we continue to execute on it. And of course, as we need to, we will adapt. But the answer to the question is basically, yes, of course, we have to look at the cable companies, but we are looking at all competitors and looking at the actions we need to take. But again, our objective, very clearly, stay ahead of the competition, focus on executing our strategy. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Rima. And it's a great reminder that coming into 2021, we think about sort of what our standards are and how they are in relation to the world, and that we continue to exceed those standards. Rima, thank you very much. And of course, thank you to our strategy team as well. Rounding out our Q&A here, this is for Craig. And Craig, this is, we had a similar question before we cast our ballots, but here we are just a few weeks away from an administrative change at the White House. And this question here is for you. And of course, it's regarding what's about to happen over on Pennsylvania there at the White House. So let's take a look at that question.
With the change in administration in the White House, what impact can we expect on our financial result and shareholder value?
Great. Thanks for the question. So, first, we know that there are some things that President-elect Biden has proposed to do, for example, raising corporate tax rates. But it's important to remember that no administration can do everything unilaterally. A lot of things require changes in the law. And to do that, it requires Congress to act. So right now, what we know is we have an incoming Democratic administration, and the House of Representatives is controlled by the Democrats, although narrowly. But we don't know where the control will be in the Senate. Right now, the Republicans control the Senate, but that won't be finally decided until the two final Senate races take place, both of which are taking place in Georgia tomorrow. So that will decide control of the Senate, and that will dictate really whether some of the laws get changed around things like tax policy. But having said that, one thing we do know is there will be increased calls for regulation of our industry, both at the federal level in the United States and in numerous states. And on one hand, we know how to operate in a highly regulated environment, but on the other hand, we always want to be in a position to interact directly with our customers without a regulator dictating how we do that. So our public policy teams are going to be working on that in the weeks and months to come. But even more importantly than what our public policy teams are doing is what each and every one of us does every single day. Because if there is one thing that will predict whether an industry is regulated more than any other, it's how customers feel about the companies in that industry. If customers fundamentally feel like they're getting what they want, they're getting a fair shake, they're getting treated well, then regulators largely will stand down. But if customers feel unhappy about their interactions, if they don't feel like they can trust about what they're getting and what they're being told, then regulators have pressure to step in. So think about, as we interact millions of times a day with our customers, a big scale balance. Every time a customer walks away delighted with what they're getting from us, that's taking pressure off of regulators to step in and intermediate our interactions with our customers. On the other hand, anytime a customer can't get the services they want, or they get a nasty surprise on their bill, or they have something that doesn't work the way they thought it was going to work, that puts a little more pressure on that side of the scale for more regulation. So the thing that's going to really dictate the regulatory environment in which we operate in the weeks and months and years to come is going to be how we all collectively as V-teamers interact with our customers day in, day out, every single day. Back to you, Andy.
Greg, thank you very much. And what a reminder to make sure that whatever we do it responsibly, we do it with integrity. And really, it's what we talk about all the time at Verizon. Thank you for your leadership and guidance and your compassion. And thank you to your team as well. So as we round out the Q&A, we want to thank all our leaders for making sure that we, when we hit reset and we have that clean slate, that we're ready to go into this year strong. And you can feel the sense of pride and energy and the wind in your sails, and it's really, really wonderful. So before we kick it back to Hans for the three things to share at the dinner table, of course, I want to make sure for folks who still have their coffee mugs and are looking for a little coffee time with Hans, here's how we're going to do it. So like all of our webcasts, there will be a survey, and we encourage you to take that survey. And in the survey, you will see a little slot there for the keyword, the word that will get you qualified for a chance to have coffee with Hans. And I think if you listened to all of our leaders here intently, you heard one word over and over and over again, and that word is growth. So in the survey, as you fill out the survey and tell us how we did and what you'd like to see in these webcasts, there will be a section there for the keyword. Let's make that word growth. So go ahead and take that survey, which will be coming out to you shortly after the webcast here, and you'll be entered to win a little coffee time with Hans. So coffee clinks to you in advance to our winners. And with that, Hans, I know we've all been talking a lot today. I really do like I do like that pun, Hans, but hopefully you've got your mug handy and a few last words as we think about the dinner table in 2021, sir.
And I'm not sure if that's super exciting to drink coffee with me, but I hear that you do a lot of promo around it. Anyhow, let me summarize it by going back to the key priorities that we have now heard from our business leaders. You heard about all the corporate staff leaders talk about, and you heard several of them saying that we have a solid plan. That's why the 4th of January, the first working day of the year, we can actually go over our targets. And they are the same as last year: strengthen the core business, leverage assets to the new growth, to drive new growth, and then the discipline in the financial discipline, and of course continue to cultivate the purpose. And then you heard all the leaders, how they are clocking into that so we can execute. And that's your job now, to see where and how are you supporting us to do this, because ultimately it comes out to serve the 4 customers that, or the stakeholders we have. And it also serves our growth journey that we now have staked out. So that's how it hangs together, and hopefully you see how it all hangs together with the overall strategy, all the way from the Verizon Intelligent Edge Network from 2017, the Verizon 2.0, all our enablers, the 5G networks, the things we have done in order to support the strategy and the execution we have right now. So we are locked and loaded for 2021, the 4th of January. I'm really proud of that, and the team didn't need to work so much to get these slides together, because we actually have worked quite a lot the last couple of years to get them together. So, Andy promised that I should talk about what you should say at the dinner table. So I'm going to tell you, I had my rehearsal yesterday because we had dinner at home. So I went over the 3 things that I want you to talk about when you meet people, when you're out for a walk, or you are with closest family in a dinner, or some other things when they ask you about Verizon. The first thing you should talk about is, of course, 2020, because I'm proud of it, and all the V-teamers should be proud of it. What we achieved in 1 year, changing everything we're doing, working together, delivering in a year where we all know that there have been so much suffering and so much people impacted. We have been able to deliver our services with safety and health as the #1 priority. So I really want, that took me 20, 25 minutes, because I wanted to go into some of the things we did in 2020 that I'm so proud of. And you're probably proud of several as well that you want to talk about. So that's #1. The #2 is clearly the talk about the priorities for 2021. And I think that you have heard them over and over again. It talks about the core business, growing that, about leveraging our new assets, continue to be disciplined in our financial area, and seeing that we cultivate our culture. Those are so important that it's going through the whole company, based on our strategy, which is a network as a service, the Verizon Intelligent Edge Network, and with the vectors of growth and the Verizon 2.0 supporting all that. Here it took a little bit shorter time, because my team, that I spoke to, they have heard the story about Verizon 2.0 so many times, so I could actually fast forward a couple of times through that, straight to the priorities. Finally, what I talked about to my family was the thing that I'm probably the most proud of, and that's us. Because us, the V-teamers, we are the ones now going to execute. There's no pointing to somebody else, it's us. We are all responsible to take this strategy forward, to execute it, and everyone in this company has a piece of this and moving it forward. Don't look upward, don't look sideways or downward, just see that you, and together with your team, are doing what you are supposed to do to execute on this strategy. And that brought me to who we are will not change. We are the V-teamers. We are the ones that stand up for each other, support each other in times of challenge. But also the ones that has been continuously over the years been succeeding and leading this market. And that we will continue to do. My management team are 100% supporting of that. And I know that all V-teamers across the globe have the equal passion to do that. As a pretty long conversation, but there's a lot of things we can talk about and what we're doing. So if you don't mind, bring that up. Remember what to talk about. What is all the key things for 2021? By that, I would like to end this kickoff, the 4th of January 2021, still hard to say, 2021, with a video, a credo video, and thinking about us as a team, how we deliver in 2021. Thanks.
We believe. We believe in the power of technology. in connections, in experiences. We believe that even in the face of adversity, we have a responsibility. And so every day we wake up and we ask ourselves, how do we move forward? We move forward by focusing outward, not inward, making it easy for our customers by listening, anticipating, responding, by keeping our commitments to ourselves and to them. We move forward by embracing diversity, by seeing change as an opportunity, because change energizes us. We move forward by working hard, taking action, taking personal accountability for getting things done, and always running to that crisis. We move forward the same way we always have, by believing in values that we all share. That is our credo. More important now than ever, it's how we will always move forward together.